So super interesting times in Minnesota. Nobody really thought they would be in first place right now. The rest of the division is under 500, or basically sitting at 500. And they just sent down Royce Lewis, who was absolutely lighting it up. And the Twins clubhouse was basically a library afterwards because they were, and the reporters just sensed it. Like, why in the world is it so morose in here? Well, because they just sent down one of their star prospects because Correa was coming back. They wanted him to get at bats and play shortstop, and he was in the minors during the pandemic, so didn't play in 2020. Knee injury in 2021, and so finally coming along, or plays great, shows he belongs, but getting sent back. And now there's scuttlebutt out there that maybe the Twins will be super aggressive, bring Lewis back up at some point, and trade Carlos Correa, who also, by the way, plays shortstop. We all know. So you just moved like this. Like, did I just catch you by surprise?
Yeah, I didn't see there was scuttlebutt about Correa being traded.
I read it today, buddy, and I wasn't on any. I wasn't in the deep web. That perhaps Correa, Minnesota does things. Who did they send? Jaime Garcia last year, right? And then traded him six games later.
Yeah.
Went out and they've done stuff like that. You got to figure you're not keeping him, right? I don't know, man. Like I think all options can be on the table for Minnesota. But you wanted to talk Correa. Which part of it did you want to talk about? If not getting traded?
Yeah, so I'll say it now. I would be beyond the word stunned if he's traded, because like the Twins, they've actually been pretty good, and they're in a position now where they can contend. And I would imagine they're going to try to build for this year to try to win, but also for future seasons, which is why Frankie Montas, who's signed for next year, makes a lot of sense. But I like the part of Correa that I want to address is that when he signed this offseason, it was a 3-year deal where he had an opt out after the first year. And the industry assumption was that after this year, he would opt out, become a free agent again, so he can end up getting that massive payday that he desperately, or that he wanted to get in free agency, because he had never been a free agent before. So like that's a scenario with Correa that I think is very likely, is that he will opt out after this year, but I just can't see them trading him. I mean, if they do, I mean, I can see the logic in it, just because you sign the guy and then you end up further building your farm system. I think teams are always looking to do that, but boy, I'll tell you, that would shock me. That was not on my radar until about 2 minutes ago.
Well, I'll read you exactly what Buster Olney wrote, and Buster's been around the game for a minute or two. He writes, could the Minnesota Twins part with their biggest offseason acquisition? The Twins have started well, leading the AL Central, but Correa has an opt-out after the season, as you just said. And if he bounces back from his bruised finger and finishes strongly, there's an industry assumption that he'll opt out of his contract, become a free agent, and then so they have two options: keep Correa throughout the season. If he walks away as a free agent in the fall, they'll get draft pick compensation. Swap Correa, pay his salary, and get players who will be part of the Twins' future in return, and install Royce Lewis, the number 1 pick in 2017, as the everyday shortstop.
I mean, yeah, I mean that is a scenario, but it's not one that I've heard. But
Okay, so if you haven't heard it, Bert, that's why this show is called the Baseball Insiders, which really should be called the Baseball Insider, because I'm hanging out with you, buddy. Although
cheers,
occasionally,
buddy.
yeah, I went, sure, I'll take the yes. But I mean, if you're not hearing that at all, then I just trust your zillion sources that that's not going down, at least anywhere to anytime soon.
Correct. That's how. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. Yeah, but I
okay.
appreciate the hat tip there, Carm.